As the ABC revealed last night, Treasury official Godwin Grech has been supplying unofficial information to the coalition dating back to its days in government. And it's understood that the federal police are widening their inquiry into whether Mr Grech has been a serial leaker. While the exact nature of the material in this case is unknown, current laws treat public service leakers and whistleblowers in exactly the same way. If charged and convicted, Godwin Grech could face harsh punishment. Steve Canane reports.
A culture of disclosure is discouraged in the federal public service. Public servants can pay a high price for leaking information.
Well, if any public servant has leaked information outside of the chain of command and without authorisation in this situation, then potentially they're facing up to 2 years in jail or fines or probation orders, good behaviour bonds under Section 70 of the Crimes Act.
The Australian Law Reform Commission last week released a discussion paper on secrecy laws. They want Section 70 of the Crimes Act repealed.
The Australian Law Reform Commission is proposing that Section 70 should be repealed and that it should be replaced by a much narrower provision which only makes it illegal to disclose information if that is reasonably likely to cause harm to specific public interests or it's intended to do that.
Tony Abbott says the Rudd government is being heavy-handed in their approach to Godwin Grech.
Now, I'm not suggesting for a second that the AFP have done anything wrong, but I tell you what, this is a government which is using all the agencies of the state as a form of political coercion and intimidation.
But the Howard government wasn't shy about having the federal police make similar investigations. According to then Justice Minister, Senator Chris Ellison, between 2000 and 2004, the AFP dedicated 33,000 hours to pursuing leaks from the public service. Between 1997 and early 2004, there were 111 investigations into public sector leaks. A number of celebrated cases went to court during the Howard era. Desmond Kelly had his conviction overturned on appeal after he was charged with leaking information to the Herald Sun about war veterans' entitlements. Tajana Agorang was fined $2,000 for leaking information from the Office of Indigenous Policy Coordination. Former Customs Officer Alan Kessing received a 9-month suspended jail sentence for leaking reports on airport security, a charge he denied. The Kessing case was cited by Labor in 2007 as a reason for whistleblower legislation. But that legislation has yet to appear before Parliament.
Well, at the moment, there is no Commonwealth legislation, and it's vital that the Commonwealth does introduce a number of its promised integrity reforms, including public interest disclosure legislation, to provide clearer rules in all these types of situations.
So in these kind of situations, what's the difference between a leaker and a whistleblower?
A whistleblower is somebody who is trying to get some kind of wrongdoing corrected, so it usually involves blowing the whistle to authorities or, if necessary, to the media if nobody else is listening. Whereas in other situations, and this looks like one of them, if there's been leaking, then it appears to have been being done for political purposes.
But at the moment, when it comes to the law, there's no distinction between the two. Steve Canane, Late Line.